Hello, everyone. This is Captain Kyle. I'm at the Great Philadelphia Comic-Con with Ian McElhinney, a very talented actor. He's been in Star Wars, Game of Thrones, and the newest venture has been Krypton. How are you enjoying the convention?
I'm enjoying it very much. We've had a very nice weekend. It's been steady, busy and steady, but not mad. And that's the way I like it. You know, if it gets too mad, it's tough for everybody. But this has been just a very pleasant atmosphere throughout.
Awesome. Do you do a lot of conventions?
This year is my first time venturing into the American world. I was in Pensacola, Florida a couple of months back, and now I'm here in Philadelphia. I don't know if I'll be doing any more in the States this year, but at least I've had an introduction to America via the Comic-Cons. I do quite a few back home. When I say back home, I mean mostly in England and in Europe as well, you know, and I enjoy them.
Is there a difference between the feel of American ones compared to European ones?
No, frankly, there's, you know, I guess I was expecting the American ones to be even busier and more hectic than at home, and actually there's very little difference in my perception, you know, as far as that's concerned. The difficult thing for us is just allowing for the fact that you're going to lose a few hours traveling, you know, and your body clock gets a bit sort of a shot to bits, you know. But, no, the atmosphere is very similar. In the main, the same applies. People are very nice. It's always a pleasure to meet people. They're very friendly. And this generally applies no matter where you go. And also terribly, terribly well informed. I mean, we're asked questions where we're supposed to know the answers. We know damn well that actually the fans are better informed than we are, you know. But it's great, you know, really enjoy it.
Excellent. It's nice to know that geeks are the same everywhere. So you look around, speaking of geeky people and fans, a lot of people here are in costumes. What do you think of these people in costume?
Their choice. Personally, it wouldn't be me. If only because at a certain point in any given day, it gets very hot in these environments. And if you're wearing those costumes, it's a tough station. You put a pressure on yourself for the day that's in it. But I admire people's determination to wear them. I admire the fact that in many cases they've made the costumes themselves, or in some cases they've spent a lot of money on the costumes. So fair play to them. But it's you know, it's not all pleasure wearing a costume. There's a demand entailed. So good on the people that do it.
You're more aware than some people are that there is a sacrifice in wearing a costume. I imagine some of the costumes you've worn have been not always the most comfortable.
You're dead right. I mean, it seems to be sod's law that, you know, if it's cold, you'll be wearing very little and you'll freeze even more. If it's hot, you'll be wearing too much and the sweat will be running down your back. In Game of Thrones, for instance, in the Moroccan desert, I wasn't wearing armor, but I was wearing 3 layers of leather, and that was a sweaty one. And in, you know, King's Landing in the first season, wearing the armor itself is actually fabulous and surprisingly light, but the skirt, which is made out of leaves of grass, is surprisingly heavy. And by the end of the day, it's just pulling you into the ground, and your lower body, your feet in particular, get very tired, you know. Costumes can sometimes be a bit demanding, yeah.
We cosplayers feel your pain. We didn't realize we had so much in common. So, I understand you have not actually seen Krypton.
Not yet, no, because as yet it's not playing in the UK. And in fact, I don't know when it is scheduled to play in the UK. It is playing in 1 or 2 European countries, Spain, for instance, and all the Scandinavian countries. So they've obviously, you know, got their skates on, and a platform has obviously paid whatever needs to be paid to put it out there. As yet, that hasn't happened in Britain. I mean, it will. It's a question of time. But it's sort of frustrating for me because here I'm meeting people who have seen it, and I'm glad to say, in the main, really seem to be enjoying it. And as yet, I can't comment one way or the other because I haven't seen a damn thing. You know,
it's kind of a shame they didn't send you screeners because I have seen it, and I must say you're doing a fantastic job. The entire show is doing a fantastic job.
Brilliant. Well, delighted to hear that. I think we've got a very exciting run ahead of us because the great thing about the Krypton story is there is no set Bible. Because of when it's set and where it's set, we have got a completely open slate to tell the story as the writers see fit. And that's kind of exciting. And it's exciting for us as the cast because we don't necessarily know what to anticipate. So looking forward to hopefully several more seasons. We'll see how we go.
That is awesome. Now, do you have a social media that people can follow you?
Well, I guess it's probably just a generational thing. I'm not huge on social media, but I am on Twitter. I respond on it, intermittently. I'm not one of these people who's using it day and daily, but at least I am on Twitter, and if people get on Twitter to me, we can communicate. My tag is @Ser, S-E-R, @Ser Ian Mac. That's capital MC. So that's my title.
Okay, we'll put a link so that people can get to it very easily.
Okay, brilliant.
Any other projects that you have going on that you'd like to share?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, I'm working on Krypton, and I expect to be back on that in the autumn. I'm also in what is proving to be a very popular series back in the UK called Derry Girls, which is a 6-part comedy series, and we're going for another season of that. That's also going to be sometime in the autumn, so it's going to be a busy autumn. And right now, I'm in the midst of a project which will keep me busy until the summer, which is a 3-part series called Mrs. Wilson. And that's, filming. It's already started, and I'll be joining it as soon as I get back from here and be on it until the middle of June.
Awesome. Sounds like you're very busy, which is...
I'm keeping turning over, which is the important thing. Yeah.
Excellent. Now we have 3 quick questions. Yeah. They're kind of weird. Are you ready for weird questions?
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay. If you could travel through time and visit any era, where would you like to travel?
Oh, my God.
I told you they were weird.
I guess in a way, given that, we're studying it at the moment, I'd like to go back to that world of Krypton and actually be in it for real, as opposed to in our imagination.
Very cool. Now, when you were younger, how did you make some extra money to get whatever you wanted to buy that you couldn't just get from the parents?
Well, I was very lucky in that when I was a student at university, one of the things I studied was languages. And I guess by virtue of that, I worked as a tour guide, taking mostly Americans and initially mostly American students around Europe. In those days, it wasn't uncommon for students to go on a 6-week sort of tour of Europe. And I would be assigned to a group, and I'd be their guide for the entire 6 weeks, take them around wherever. Fascinating experience for me, because I was getting to travel Europe in that capacity, and I loved it. And I actually did that for several years when I was a student. After that, I was a teacher. I kept on doing it in my holidays. And after that, when I started working as an actor, if money was tight and the work wasn't coming in on the acting front, I still did it as a sideline. So it was a very, very beneficial thing for me to be able to do.
Very cool. How many languages do you speak?
I speak French and German. I don't speak Italian, but I have enough of a smattering that I can understand things as I go through, and that's it really.
More than I have. I know un peu de français.
Ah, very good, very good.
So, final question: if you could have a superpower, what superpower would you like?
Flight.
Like, do you want to fly like Superman?
I would love to be able to fly. I'd love to know what it's like to just go and take off. You know that wonderful flying dream you can sometimes have where you think your legs have got great springs and you just bounce and then fly over the fields or whatever? Wonderful sensation. I'd love to be able to do that. Yeah.
Anything you'd like to say to your fans before we wrap up?
I'd just like to say, for those of you who are watching Krypton, thank you for watching, and please keep watching. It's very exciting. It keeps turning over all the time. There's all sorts of shocks and surprises up ahead, so please stay with us, and I hope you enjoy it. Take care.
Thank you so much, Ian. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Everyone, thanks for watching, and as always, have fun
and cosplay on.
Hi, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and share, and we love to read your comments. Don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell icon to get notifications of our new videos. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the con floor.